What happens when a racist cop thinks she can humiliate a black man in uniform without consequences? Officer Tracy Wilburn thought she had the upper hand when she pulled over Lieutenant General Carlton Hayes on a quiet Georgia highway. But one phone call to the Pentagon turned her power trip into a national reckoning. This is a story of restraint, accountability, and the truth caught on camera. Buckle up. This is a lesson in justice you won't forget. Hit that subscribe button, and let's dive in. Lieutenant General Carlton Hayes, a three-star general with 30 years of service, was driving along Highway 280 between Albany and Americus, Georgia. It was a route he'd taken dozens of times, familiar curves, endless trees, the occasional gas station with a single dusty pump. But on this day, his military-grade GPS glitched after an update. Spotting a gravel pull-off near a faded sign for Ellaville, he parked to fix it. 2 minutes. That's all he needed. But then, the crunch of gravel behind him. A beat-up Lee County Sheriff's cruiser rolled up, lights spinning, no siren. Out stepped Officer Tracy Wilburn, tall, blonde, aviator sunglasses, one hand already on her holster. No, good afternoon. No license and registration. She marched to Carlton's window and tapped it hard. Tap, tap, tap. Afternoon, officer, Carlton said, his voice calm. He was in a polo and slacks, his general's jacket folded neatly in the back seat. What are you doing out here? Wilburn snapped. Pulled over to check my GPS, he replied. Her eyes narrowed, scanning his car. Where are you headed? Her tone wasn't curious, it was control. I'm correcting my route, Carlton said, still calm, but Wilburn unclipped her holster. Step out of the vehicle. You're on private land. This is a known area for illegal dumping. You fit the profile. The profile. Carlton exhaled. I'll step out, but I've done nothing wrong. He opened the door slowly, his military training keeping him steady. He'd faced worse, hostile checkpoints in Iraq, tense boardrooms in D.C. But this was different. Wilburn marched him to the rear of his car, no backup, no body cam visible. Hands on the trunk, she barked. Carlton hesitated. Ma'am, I'm a federal officer. My ID is in my vehicle. Please let me retrieve it. Her response? I said hands on the trunk. She grabbed his arm, spun him, and kicked his legs apart. His palms hit the warm metal. You're making a mistake, he said softly. She didn't listen. From the road, a pickup slowed. A woman in the passenger seat held up her phone. A teenager, Miles Reardon, was already filming from the back. The crowd grew, 3 cars now, all watching. Something was off. The silence, the general's calm, Wilburn's eagerness to dominate. The air was thick with tension, like humidity clinging to the trees. I'm not going to repeat myself, Wilburn barked, hand hovering near her gun. You're being detained. Carlton stayed calm. Hands on the trunk. I respectfully request you call your supervisor or let me retrieve my ID. Her scoff was sharp. You don't make requests. She radioed dispatch, her voice low, calling him a suspicious male, possibly armed. Carlton turned his head slightly. I'm not carrying a weapon. Her glare hardened. You're military, right? You people usually are. You people? Carlton blinked slowly. He didn't raise his voice. He'd learned long ago that arrogance collapses under its own weight. You're escalating something that doesn't need to be, he said gently. I'm asking you to do it by the book. Wilburn stepped closer. Are you threatening me? His eyes narrowed. No, ma'am. I'm advising you. She yanked his wallet from his pocket, flipping through it carelessly, until she froze. Tucked behind his department ID was a Pentagon-issued security clearance card, level 4. Her jaw shifted. Where'd you get this? She muttered. I earned it, Carlton replied. Over 30 years of service. Her face flushed, but she doubled down. You can't park here. Carlton's response was measured. I wasn't parked. I was pulled over, adjusting my route. The crowd was growing, 5 cars now, phones out, filming. Miles, the teenager, zoomed in on Carlton's jacket in the back seat, whispering to his dad. It says U.S. Army. There's stars on it. Wilburn was unraveling, pacing, checking over her shoulder. She wasn't thinking like a cop anymore, she was reacting like someone cornered. Turn around, she ordered. Carlton didn't move. I've identified myself. She grabbed his wrist, twisted, and slammed cuffs on tight. Gasps echoed from the roadside. Miles stepped closer, still filming. Everything's being recorded, Carlton said, his voice low. Not a threat, just truth. You think that matters? Wilburn hissed. It always does, he replied. She shoved him into the cruiser's back seat. No Miranda rights, no explanation. The crowd was silent, but their phones kept rolling. Miles' dad spoke up, his voice steady. You're going to regret this. Wilburn snapped. Mind your business. But he didn't back down. This is my business now. 2 more cruisers arrived, Deputy Lamar Boyd from the county, and a state patrol officer. Boyd, a tall man with a salt and pepper beard, approached slowly, no weapon drawn. He opened the cruiser door. Sir, your name? Carlton looked up. Lieutenant General Carlton Hayes, United States Army. Boyd blinked. Did she see your ID? Carlton nodded. She had it in her hand. Boyd shut the door and confronted Wilburn. Her hands flailed, defensive, but Boyd's face was stone. He returned to Carlton. Sir, anyone you'd like to call? Carlton nodded. One person. Boyd handed over his phone without hesitation. Carlton dialed a number he knew by heart, a direct line to Major Kendall, a Pentagon officer who'd cleared his missions across 4 continents. It rang twice. Major Kendall speaking. Carlton's voice was steady. This is General Carlton Hayes. I'm being unlawfully detained in Schley County, Georgia. I need verification sent immediately. A pause. General Hayes, are you secure? For now. But this officer failed protocol from the start. I'm concerned this may escalate. Kendall's voice sharpened. Stay on the line. I'm alerting the Pentagon liaison to DHS and military police. A click, then a new voice. Commander Reeve, sir. We're tracking your coordinates. Local authorities will hear from us in under 10 minutes. Carlton handed the phone back to Boyd. 5 minutes later, gravel crunched again. 3 black SUVs, no markings, tinted windows, rolled in like they owned the road. Colonel Errol Gaines, in full army dress uniform, stepped out of the lead SUV. He walked past Wilburn, past Boyd, and opened the cruiser door. Sir, you all right? Carlton nodded. Fine. Just bruised pride. Gaines turned to Boyd. Who's in charge? Boyd pointed to Wilburn. Gaines approached her. Do you know who that man is? Wilburn stiffened. He didn't provide proper ID until... Gaines cut her off. You held his federal ID. That's a 3-star general you locked in a car. Wilburn's face drained of color. Gaines continued, This is being reported to your department, your sheriff, and the state attorney general. Boyd radioed for the county sheriff. Carlton stepped out, wrists red from the cuffs. He looked at Wilburn, then at the crowd. I want her held accountable through proper channels, he said. Let the public see it. Sheriff Roger Nix arrived, a tall man with a limp. He surveyed the scene, federal SUVs, a silent officer, a general standing tall. Somebody tell me what the hell's going on, he growled. Gaines explained. Nix turned to Wilburn. Tracy, you run his tags? Check his ID, she stammered. I didn't think it was real. Nix's voice was low. This man could have you dismissed with 1 call. And he hasn't. Nix faced Wilburn. Tracy, administrative leave. Hand over your badge and firearm. Her hands shook as she complied. Nix addressed the crowd, holding her badge. This ain't how we treat people in my county. I don't care who you are. Miles stepped forward. Sir, want me to send you the video? Nix nodded. Send it, son. Thank you for filming. By morning, Miles' 30-second clip had exploded into a 2-minute video, viewed 2 million times in 12 hours. Hashtags like #GeneralHayes #profiling on camera trended. News vans lined Highway 280. Protests formed outside the sheriff's office, veterans holding photos of Hayes in uniform at the White House in the field. Wilburn's past complaints surfaced, 3 grievances, all dismissed. The public wasn't having it. General Hayes stayed quiet, declining interviews. But at a small veterans forum in Columbus he spoke. I've faced hostility on foreign soil, but I've never felt smaller than on that Georgia roadside. I won't carry anger. We need accountability and honesty. We can't fix what we pretend doesn't exist. The room stood in silent respect. Schley County implemented new training, implicit bias perception protocol. Community panels formed, conversations began. Miles started a YouTube channel interviewing locals about integrity. His first video, I didn't know who he was, but I knew what was wrong, hit 500,000 views. Wilburn faded, reportedly working private security, no badge, no gun. General Carlton Hayes didn't seek fame or vengeance. He chose restraint, dignity, and truth. His story wasn't just about one stop, it was about what happens when power meets accountability, when a phone camera exposes injustice, when one man's calm changes everything. This is why we speak up, record, and share. If this moved you, hit like, subscribe, and share it. Let's keep telling stories that demand justice. Until next time, stay vigilant.